Well, it is looking ahead to racing at the vaal. We're back at the vaal for the first time this weekend. Of course, the first meeting of the new month, the 1st of February. We're on the classic track for that opening meeting of the new month of February, which promises to be a wonderful, wonderful February with 2 days hence. We're looking at the start of the Guinness meeting and the start of that big competition sponsored by TAB, and that has got a prize money of 100,000 Rand, which all goes to the winner on the 27th of April when that competition finally closes. That is the fourth and final leg, and that'll close at 7 o'clock. I take it will be the last of the local races locally on that particular day. 100 Rand is the minimum turnover, and you can take whatever bet that is available on the tote virtually. That is a full bouquet, be it exotics or on the nose, win, swingers, exactors, etc. And we'll keep reminding you as we progress through to Saturday. It's a good morning to Mr. Darren Burrows and a good morning to Mr. Daryl Marie. It's a great pleasure to be with you. It's sad Thursday racing on paper, as you said to me off air. A punter-friendly card, but unfortunately we've learned to our demise that there's never such a thing these days.
Cecil, the form has to turn. You know,
Yes.
We've been through a very quiet spell with regards to exotics, but I'm looking forward to this card. I do believe we're gonna come up on top, and it's gonna be a profitable meeting. Opening leg of the bipot, I've gone 3 runners. I'm not too sure if number 1's going to stand her ground. Emblem of the Sun. There is a form update. She actually put in a lovely debut. She ran 4th beyond Tintamare, beaten 4.5 lengths. Her stable companion, number 2, Force 8, improved in her second start. You know, she had a little bit of cover and then she's got switched in, and she basically at the front like 700 meters from home. She only faded very late. Number 4, Gaelic Dancer, is the current anti-post favourite. Her half-brother won 1 race over 1,000 metres on the gravel poly. So there was speed, there is speed on her dam side. And then number 8, Willow Wild, was beaten for pace on debut, but she stayed on extremely stoutly, so she can improve. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, and 8. Can't be bullish when it comes to juveniles.
All right. Now, Mr. Burrows, good morning once again. The stable of Paul Matchett had a couple of runners behind Tintamare. I mean, they had a couple of first-timers in that race where Tintamare was having a second outing and was all the rage. And watching the horse go down to the start, it certainly looked the part, and they came back accordingly. But Emblem of the Sun of the two was attracting the least support, well, it attracted the most support of the first-timers and ran accordingly 4.5 lengths behind Tintamare. I don't know if you watched those juvenile races at the early part of Sunday's Turpentine program, and what impressions it left on you?
Cecil, I didn't watch the first couple of races at Turpentine, but I think Tintamare was a runaway winner. And this horse, Emblem of the Sun, wasn't disgraced back in 4th, but it was only a 6-horse field. There was market support as well, the drop-in trip. Gaelic Dancer does interest me on pedigree. I like Quarari out of Heel of Fire, a lot of speed in the pedigree. And Calvin Habib takes a ride, first time out. This horse could be the horse to beat because the race runners, the form could be questioned. I thought Willow Wild could be the danger. A 1 world out of a trippy mare, lost all at sea in the first half of the race, and then quickened up nicely to run 7 lengths off. This horse can only improve, and it could be a 5-6 length improver. So Gaelic Dancer, Willow Wild, and Emblem of the Sun if she takes his part.
All right, so that is 4, 8, and 1 as mentioned by Darren as far as the race number 1 is concerned. And just adding one more for Daryl in his PA, not taking any chances in that first leg. 1, 2, 4, and 8. The bankers do come in that first leg of the bipod in legs 3 and 4. That is numbers 8 in race and number 3, that being a Katizora. And in race 4, number 1 is the banker, and that is a Green Garnet, both from the De Kock stable. Off time to race number 1 on Thursday is 12:35. That's the first of 8 on the classic track. Well, one thing I've just actually learned, because there is interesting details coming through about that 100,000 Rand competition starting on Saturday. You can even take an all to come, and there are provisos. There is that fine print that you can be disqualified if your bets exceed your balance in your account. Remember, the turnover must be that 100 Rand or more. So that's the story of the competition as we now move on to a competitive race number 2. It is a maiden juvenile plate. They're going over the 1,000 meters. We should be off with race 2 at that 1:07 carded off time. First timers, there are a couple. The 5 Gold Fever and the number 7 Sunset Riot, the latter from the Informalic led stable. And this will be a Rafif out of a Captain Alme, Fragrant Miss, debuting with Caden Brewer, who's a stable employee, I would assume. He does a lot of work for Alec, getting the ride on a debut. But Mr. Burrows, Ready, Set, Fire certainly has been holding form. Ran behind a useful first time out. That was Candice Dawson's destination. And then it was a slightly surprised first timer, King of Kildare, that beat it from the Magna stable. But Magna is proving to have some useful 2-year-olds, and he said himself there's still more to come. And then last time out behind the first progeny of Buffalo Bill Cody, that was second again, 2 1/4 lengths behind Pistol Pete. Certainly has the credentials to win.
Definitely, Cecil. Now ready, Set, Fire on debut ran 5 lengths off a destination, where Fire Attack was only a quarter of a length back. So he was 5 lengths ahead of Ready, Set, Fire. But then Ready, Set, Fire did show improvement, and his maiden wins not far away. So obviously 2 and 5 are the racehorses to fight it out. Then you've got 3 expensive horses. Number 1, Cosmic Speed, a 725,000 Rand purchase for Sean Terry. You've got number 3, Gold Fever, a lot of speed in the pedigree, 400,000 Rand buy. And Sunset Riot, a Rafif out of Fragrant Miss, a lot of speed in the pedigree, 600,000 Rand buy. So let's follow the market with regards to the first timers, but of the race runners 2 and 5.
2 and 5 off the race to runners, Daryl. We had a couple of first timers, or one of the first timers, Sean sent, and they were all the rage on Sunday. In the second race, Cosmic Speed was actually the stable companion in the same source of Mrs. Kuhn. Went off as a favorite, didn't quite run up to expectation. In the first race, where they had backed Sean's first timer into odds on, Sean did say not a 5-star bet as such, so he did say, and we did pass on to the viewers. But Ready, Set, Fire for you, any chance of winning, or do you think that Fire Attack might just have the edge?
Fire Attack holds him on form, but he was making his debut, and Fire Attack was having his second start. I don't think there'll be as much separating the two of them come Thursday. Yeah, Cecil, obviously Ready, Set, Go. Sorry, what is it? What's those?
Ready, Set, Fire.
Ready, Set, Fire has had 2 runs since then, so it's probably more racing fit. So I respect both of them. Number 1's extremely well bred, Cecil. He's related to Cosmic Highway.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time Grade 2 winner, placed in a Grade 1.
Yeah.
So if there's money for number 1, I'll certainly respect him. But for the PA, I'm happy to bank either number 2 or 5. I don't think they'll miss the top 3.
All right, we are going to have a look at that PA. And whilst we go through that PA, just worth noting that Casey, when I spoke to the first time Master Forester, came through not quite tuned up to win, but they expect a bit of pace, and there was a bit of pace. And Master Forester, as I say, the Magnus stable, certainly churning out some decent 2-year-olds. Send out Master Forester, so you can expect to see improvement. But you've gone with the banker, Ready, Set, Fire. Paul Matchett has an army of horses, almost akin to the army that Justin had at Kenilworth on Saturday, and he'd have had at Kenilworth on Wednesday as well, but we wish him well. It's the second race off at 1:07, and that's the first leg of the PA. Time is ticking. It is clock counting down to a Saturday. We were all excited about the Guineas. In fact, my co-presenter at Turf Dean on Sunday, the former champion jockey, that is Mr. Johnny Giroud, suggests that the Highveld seems to have the better quality 3-year-olds in the country at the moment. We will see that, and the proof will be in the eating, so they say, as of Saturday when the Triple Crown and Triple Tiara starts. And that's, of course, seeing also the start of the 100,000 Rand competition sponsored by TAB. That 100,000 Rand, that will be an outright win for the person who tops the leaderboard after those 4 legs, which run a triple Guineas, Classic, Derby, and then, of course, that meeting on the 27th of April. Right, Daryl, we've got a jockey change, and it is brought about by an unfortunate and a sad circumstance. Number 4, Paradise Flower. Now, that was called to be partnered by Marco van Rensburg, but I just saw honor the changes, a courtesy of a horse racing essay. It is due to family responsibility. Perhaps you can just tell us more. Unfortunately, Marco is the person who was there to stand down due to family responsibility.
Yes, unfortunately, the sad news came through that his dad has passed away, so we send Marco our condolences. I've actually met his dad myself. Marco used to be my neighbor, Cecil, 3 houses up from me. So
yes,
I did get to spend some time with his dad, and my condolences go out to him and his family. Yeah, Cecil, number 8, Caddy Zora. If you watch the later start, she was actually caught flat-footed halfway up the straight, but she stayed on extremely stoutly. If she doesn't find the 1700 too sharp for her, I think she'll go very close to winning, because we know that form line was franked of the weekend, and she had a filly called DeMarco's Jet 5 lengths behind her in that race, and she came out and won. So it looks like she's ready to win, Caddy Zora. And she will go a trip in time to come. I do believe she'll get even further, but yeah, it's not the strongest of lineups. I'm not saying she's worth a 5-star bet or anything like that. I've just banked her, as you've seen in my Jackpot and PA. But I think on form, she is the right one. Number 7, Happy Mo. She's been off the track for quite some time, but they are stepping her up to 1700. If she's not in need of the outing, I can see her making some improvements.
Well, I hope the commentator doesn't have the nightmare scenario on Thursday come race number 3, where it's Donamo and Happy Mo fighting it out for that winner's stake, Jack Darrell. But Darren, Caddy Zora, the mother, stayed all day, Gorongosa. And as Daryl rightly points out, if the trip is still not on the sharp side after having seen that form so frankly, so emphatically franked, and it was an emotional one for everyone and sundry, with Mr. DeMarco Giannis, the owner, on course and Weho Mowing, who did a lot of work for Mr. DeMarco, saddling his winner for him. Yeah, banker, ready-made banker and everything?
I haven't banked her. Reason why, I think she's looking for 2,400 meters. So I'm just worried that she gets caught flat-footed at the Vaal on a fast track and she just doesn't get going in time. She could win by 4 lengths. It wouldn't surprise me. But I do believe she's looking for 2,000 meters plus, just like her dam, who stayed 3,200 meters. So there's stamina in this pedigree. If she's not too far back, turning for home, and she can get that long stride together, she can definitely win going away. She is the horse to beat. I thought others to consider, a horse like Happy Mo, stepping right up to 1,700 meters. She must have a lot of stamina, while showing a lot of stamina at home. Donamo's not out of it. Now, she ran over 1,600 meters at Durbanville behind Andy's goal, and she stayed on all the way to the line. Her 2 last starts on the Highveld, she hasn't quite rounded her races off. Maybe they just outsprinted her. So maybe she is looking for this trip. But Caddy Zora, if things go away and she gets going in time, she could be hard to stop.
Okay, so we do have a pick 6 from you, sir. Numbers 1, and I'm glad you've included number 2, Toriate, because that will come through and win one of these days sooner rather than later. I thought possibly the last time it ran behind a Crimson Forest 2 Saturdays ago was a good chance. Muzi was riding then. Ryan Munger is aboard this time. Banker is in that third leg race, and number 5, and that will be the 7. And that's the only banker in the pick 6, number 7 in race 5, being a Beating Wings, who goes for that third win on the bounce. Now you've got that, get that pick 6 on at 13:39. Race 4 is a maiden plate. It's over the 1,700 meters, and I'm happy to say that we do have a jackpot coming through shortly. Let's start off with Mr. Marie and his thoughts to race number 4. It's a field of 14, and again, we have a cock favorite. It's Green Garnet, and that is in the colors of Miss R.L. Oppenheimer, one of the daughters of Mrs. Slack. Gavin Arena gets the ride, as was the case last time out when just touched off by Hackers Crackers. Do you believe that a winning turn is in the offing race 4?
Certainly, Cecil. I mean, his form speaks for itself. He's ready to at least win a maiden, and he's certainly not going to retire a maiden winner. He's going to win more than that. Mr. De Kock will have a line through him, Green Garnet, and number 2 Aritme's form line, which is La Muhal. Personally, I think Green Garnet's a better horse than La Muhal, but only time will tell. You know, this horse Green Garnet, he came out softly last time out because he has had a tendency to over-race in the past. So number 1 last time out was to get him to settle, and that caused him to be further back than ideal, because he did jump from the worst stall gate. Yeah, he's drawn 2, he could be closer to the pace, but he just needs to settle in running, and so this horse will go on with it. He does have ability. I'll make his biggest danger Master Christmas. Now, he's clearly held on the birthright form, and Green Garnet's been gelded since then, but I think he's much better than his later start. I don't think he enjoyed the conditions, and prior to that, his form is fairly consistent. So I'm going 1 from 3 over here.
1 from 3. Now, just a week ago, Mr. Burrows, that Arime was supposed to be the big threat to what was a very short price favorite in the form of Marauding Horde, who was struggling in the end, was way out of its ground, and eventually did run second for a lot of us who had banked it in the bipot. So we never got to see exactly how good Atarima was, because there was a vaccination certificate discrepancy. Hopefully there won't be a repetition of that on Thursday. But as far as that first leg of the jackpot, I know you didn't bank her in the PA, in the pick 6. Are you taking any chances in the jackpot?
Well, touching on Atarim, you know, I think he would have won that race by 3 lengths after the result, because Marauding Horde, he took a long time to get into his stride, and the winner didn't have the best of form. So Atarime, big runner, 1,700 meters. Green Garnet's been a bit disappointing. I thought his last start he would win. First run as a gelding, but he found one better at a huge price to beat him. So he's going to love the step up to 1,700 meters. 1 and 2, probably the leading lights, but I have included Master Christmas, Gamer, Sword of Mercy, and Battle of Barberton first run as a gelding. So a lot of people are only going to go 1 and 2. I've played a bit wider.
Okay, let's just confirm that jackpot, courtesy of Mr. Burrows. It is a banker again in that second leg, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13. And what is so interesting about Gamer, the 5 horse from the St. John Gray stable, every time it has run in recent meetings, there has been some long shot interest in Gamer, and one of these days that money will prove to be on the button. Just a reminder as we round off race 4 that it is one of those bets that you can take in the soon to be started 100,000 Rand punter competition, sponsored by TAB, and that is on the 3rd of February. Race number 5. This is a take a bet winner number fillies and mares 88 handicap. It's over the 1,800 meters. Don't forget you have a chance to win big come the 27th of April with that competition concluding. But we are looking ahead to Thursday at the Vaal on the way to win, proudly brought to you by the one and only Betway. And this race 5 on the card is off at 14.50 now. It is bet winner number and talk about a winner. I believe we'll have a win bet coming through from Mr. Burrows for race number 5. Let us start with Mr. Marie. I have been impressed by the 7 Beating Wings. I was on hand to see Beating Wings win at the second time of asking. That is when having a first run, I do believe, well, second run for Stu Pedigree, had been bought by Ashley Fortune. Never raced for her before she relocated, but they recommended that Stu Pedigree get the horse and hasn't put a foot wrong. Mr. Chinsami's silks are prominent everywhere. He nearly had a nice 4th or 5th placing on Saturday in one of the early races. His horse just touched off. I think it may have run 4th in one of the early races on Saturday.
Kenilworth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Those colours now just seem to stick out. I never leave them out.
Yeah, this filly's impressed, Cecil. Last time out, she came under pressure 400 from home, and it looked like she was beaten, but she rallied late, suggesting that the 1400 is a bit on the sharp side for her. And we obviously saw that form being franked with My Lady Soul coming out to win from there. So she's certainly improving with racing. She's on the upgrade in a serious way. I'll give her a strong winning chance. The well-exposed number 9, Pretty in Pearls. In her later start, she never looked comfortable. She always looked to be off the bit. I think she's much better than that. And from a one draw with 52 to shoulder, she's in receipt of a lot of, well, not a lot of weight, only 2 kilograms from the favorite. But she comes into the race with only 52 kilograms to shoulder. I think of this course and distance, she goes extremely well. So I'm expecting an improved effort on her behalf. And I've also included number 4, Poor Little Rich Girl. This filly, if she overdoes it, she's in trouble. But I think she could get a nice toe through. I'm hoping she gets cover from pre-impulse. And with the tongue tie going on, I'm hoping she settles in running. And I'm saying she's going to improve, Cecil.
Okay.
She's better than her latest 2 starts. Watch out for her. If you're playing trifectas and quartets, please don't leave out number 4.
All right, as we hand over to Mr. Burrows, just touching on the 9 Pretty in Pearls, the form update from that last run that Daryl is alluding to was beaten by a certain Gilda Gray. You remember that? Beaten third, and that was 2.70 lengths behind Gilda Gray, Mr. Burrows. I'm sure you remember that with a great glee.
Yes, I think that's the last winner I tipped.
No.
Yeah, it's been tough. But
Yeah. But how do you
anyway,
see it on Thursday, race 5?
I thought Beating Wings, the horse to beat. I think she's a lovely filly. I was impressed with her maiden win, just a manner in which he quickened up and put the field to bed at the 300 already. And last time out, it was a step up in class. He beat My Lady Soul, who's come out to win. And I think she's ahead of the handicappers still. So I'll be disappointed if she doesn't win.
All right, so that will be a win bet. It's current line to 10, but I'm sure you can talk to your bookmaker and get evens and possibly include in all to comes, as Mr. Marie did suggest, that it is payback time on a Thursday, the likes of a Green Garnet, and in the preceding race, the likes of the stable companion, the Kadizora, could all go into that all to come, and you could get some nice odds come at the final tally of those odds. That is race number 5. It is the 5th of 8 as we head on to the first leg of the last pick 3. Okay, just a couple of things to update you on. Sianders to see where the impressive Apprentice achieved his 50th win as an apprentice just a weekend gone. And as a result, will no longer have a claim. So all races where he is carded to ride, he will not have that claim. And also talking about updates, number 10, Circus Lights was a winner and gave the Grand Maroon stable a double on the afternoon. That is last Thursday at the Vaal, if memory serves right. The Turpentine, rather. It was last Thursday. And as a result, that merit rating has gone up to 67, which means that the mass will be 56. That is a Circus Lights. Now, Circus Lights, good day for the Maroon stable. It was one of those days where things were just not really falling into place. But they did highlight the experts that Circus Lights did look the best in the parade ring.
Yeah, that stable's really doing well at the moment. So, this horse, I mean, we've seen him stand in the stalls before. Yeah. So, as long as he jumps and he's in contention, he has to be a player. I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him follow up on that victory. You just touched on the breeding on the favourite off air. By Rafif out of the damn Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. You know who that makes her related to? She's a full sister to William Robertson.
Wow. Because Massachusetts, if I even cast my mind back, please correct me. Yes, speaking of correction, wasn't it Mike the Cockatrain, Massachusetts?
I can't recall. Sorry. You could be wrong.
Right. But so that is William Robertson still going strong.
Yes.
One of the shining lights in one of the quiet time for the stable of One Piece.
And he travels to Scottsville on Sunday.
Yes.
And he's slung in on
oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So would I be surprised to see her go back-to-back? Absolutely not. But her form line is suspect. Mm-hmm. I mean, Solo ran last. The filly that also ran in that race, Enchanting Lady, also finished unplaced. But we haven't seen the best of her
Yes.
yet, Cecil.
But that first run to Francine is quite highly
Yeah,
regarded.
that was against winners.
Uh-huh.
So I can see her building on her maiden victory. Just a form suspect, but she is potentially ahead of the handicapper. I thought this was a great win race for Munchkin, number 5, to just get his confidence up. This horse has disappointed. He certainly hasn't lived up to expectations. But have a look at his rating. He's right down to a 74. This isn't a strong lineup whatsoever. So coupled with his rating come down against a moderate bunch, I think we're gonna see the best of Munchkin. Well, not the best of him, but we're gonna see
Improvement,
and hopefully a competitive run for him. So Munchkin is certainly my leading light of year, Cecil.
Yeah, I remember 2 summer cups back in the first race, all the rage was Munchkin. But on a brighter note, Mr. Marco van Rensburg and Corner Spies had other ideas, and they came with Tian, the Conqueror, coming through to upset the odds at around 50-1. Let's hand over to Darren and his thoughts. Daryl points out that Dow Solar form line does put a dampener on the 2 work of time, but beyond that, I think there's a lot to come.
I think she's a very nice filly. I liked what I saw in her comeback run. It was after a lengthy break, but she's got a beautiful action, and the stable weren't quiet about how much they rate this filly. I think she's meeting a very average field, and I think she's going to improve a couple of lengths from that last run, unless the second run after rest doesn't affect her. Aravadicio, this horse has lost his way. I mean, he was rated well in the 90s, and he's absolutely tumbled. I'm just hoping he can recapture some of his form. And then Viva de Janeiro, handy galloping weight, second behind Gimme the Flame, who runs later and I fancy quite strongly. Munchkin, very disappointing. I'm waiting for him to drop back to the 1160 and I'll start to follow him again.
But do believe that work of time? You believe lots more to come through, and you've gone the each way route here at around 4-5-1 at the moment. I think that could be the way to go. I think following you 2 gentlemen in your suggestions thus far could be just what the doctor ordered to replenish the balance books and to replenish that bank balance. That is race number 6, the last chance to get involved in a pick 3 at the Vaal.